along together.
How are we doing, everyone?
What's up?
Post-draft show today. Without Eric, someone can't show up on time.
He might be here.
He might be here at some point. We'll find out. Who knows?
We'll see.
But we're going to kick off the show. We're going to talk about all 10 draft picks. We might talk about some winners and losers of the NFL draft, considering, well, let's see how fast we're going through the show. We want to keep it about an hour. Don't want to keep people for too long. I'm going to start off with first-round pick, offensive tackle, Amarius Mims. Not Amarius, Amarius. Wearing number 71, which is a crisp number right there. So, I mean.
Lyle's old number?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully he does better.
What is it? Your bodyguard's in town?
Yeah.
We all saw how that went. He started to perform right before he got his ACL injury against the Patriots. So,
I mean, just talk about Mims. I mean, right at first, like initial reaction was, "Dang, we drafted a project player."
Yeah, I was gonna tweet out our reactions,
but after I've obviously had some time to digest, watch some of his playing, from his time at Georgia. I mean, he's a freak, dude. Like, he is strong, he's fast. Like, I think it's honestly gonna be he'll play more than just what I was thinking originally. I think he will see the field, at least in some sets. I mean, he's gonna be a great guy to pull.
For sure.
I definitely could see him playing a lot more than I initially, like, reaction-wise thought.
Yeah, and then another thing I didn't think about was back a Super Bowl run 2 years ago, we had backup right tackles in. So now let's say Trent Brown's not available, like he is kind of most of his career. Injuries happen unfortunately, but we have that backup tackle on both slots now.
Yeah,
and then Dan Pitcher said his tape when he was playing was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his first start against Ohio State, he was known day of game, hey, you're starting against Ohio State. We all know how Ohio State defensive fronts are.
Yeah.
And, didn't allow pressure, a sack, nothing.
Yeah, and to be that big and have that base, I mean, dude looks like an athletic stud. He's gonna be. I really do think that he will be a guy who can transform this line down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's not gonna start this year. But the injury history with Trent Brown, knock on wood, obviously, he could see the field this year. But I do think that he will be a cornerstone of our line for future years. I mean, I was obviously on board with some of the defensive guys in the first round. But, obviously in the typical Bengal fashion, guys that we really want get taken right before us.
As much as me and you wanted, I don't think they were going to take Dallas Turner.
No, but just in general, Latu, Turner was gone, obviously. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I like the pick. I think it's definitely going to be it's a pick that they also think they were going to get some of the guys they got in the later rounds too, and filled the holes during the season to make it kind of like a BPA. And that's who they thought the BPA was. So,
and some people were saying that as long as he can stay healthy and stuff, he has the highest ceiling as of the O tackle class. So I'm hoping that he can stay healthy and he can be an absolute dog and like you said, a cornerstone and stuff for Burrow in this line. Because I mean, the longest tenured lineman that was on our line before was Jonah. Now he's gone. That had been on our team for a while. So
it's what, Karras now?
I'm trying to think. Yeah,
Karras
and Kappa. So the only thing I didn't we didn't. Well, I guess we're gonna talk about it, but we didn't really But I guess there was nobody really there. We didn't get really the interior that we thought
offensive
we were
line
for.
Yeah. Oh, we did in the seventh.
They said he's one of the best.
We'll get to that when we get to him. But
yeah,
I feel like Gary said, obviously initial reactions on we have a project, but truthfully, I mean, you really just dive into it. He's not a project.
No, yeah,
he could potentially be. Say we didn't have Trent Brown, I'm more than comfortable putting him out there.
Yeah, after
they said he was
last
good.
week watching actual tape of him.
Yeah,
he's solid. He's solid.
He's really strong.
The only thing that really turned me away was the injuries.
Yeah,
and that's just football. I mean,
but it's not it's not one of the nagging injuries.
No, it was just recovery from the original injury, which
it's big injury, so it's not he has a consistent ankle problem or anything like that. So
ligament issues and stuff like that.
He said it was all one big injury, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That the reason he kept missing and stuff. Wasn't it just one big injury or no?
He pretty sure he hurt his ankle and then something else.
But
I don't really try to dive too deep in the injury histories for
it's-
players, just because it's
I mean, you
it's
got
a
guys
ticky
who-
tacky
yeah.
road.
Yeah, you got guys who destroy their knee, come back, and never get hurt again, and then you guys who get like, just using an example like turf toe that nags on for 2 years,
AJ Green.
2 to 3 years, that you just can never fully recover from it because you try to come back.
Well, it's like you also look at players like Taysom Hill. I mean,
Yeah.
he tore his ACL 3 times in college.
Yeah.
And then now you look at him as a Swiss Army knife for the Saints. Obviously, his hypes went down, his productions went down, but he hasn't been injured
Yeah.
since really joining. Knock on wood for him too. But
yeah,
I mean,
injuries are weird, man.
injuries are weird.
It's really luck. I mean, obviously preparation of your body, but you got guys like Nick Chubb who works hard, like does it the right way, and he's had 2 bad knee injuries. Hope that he comes back
Yep.
fully strong, but injuries are the worst thing in football. I really do think
Another
so.
thing, like Joe Burrow, I mean, look
Yeah.
at his injuries, like ACL, not his fault. Wrist, not his fault.
Yeah.
Calf, I mean, that
Besides the ACL, they've all been
That
like weird
could-
injuries for him too.
the calf could be preparation, could be the weather conditions
Yeah,
at
I
that
mean-
time, the humidity going straight into work. You know what I mean? That could have been something.
What do you
What-
guys grade the first round pick? We'll kind of do a grade for each round.
I'll do an A minus.
A minus.
Yeah.
For me, I say probably like a B minus too. I guess
Just
I
'cause
was
you-
close to a C, but I'd say
Just
B
because
minus.
Instead of looking at like the floor or the potential, or like, don't look at the floor, really look at the ceiling.
Yeah, absolutely draft picks.
And the ceiling on this guy is like really,
Yeah.
it's high. It's really high.
I'm right at a B to
Yeah.
B plus range.
And-
Just only reason I don't have it as an A is because obviously he's not gonna be a starter right away. But the potential there, you just got to be excited as a fan.
And after we like slept on it for a day, because if anybody was like watching our show, we were all kind of like mad about the pick in the moment. But
Well, I was mad just because I really wanted Johnny Newton.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
like I had dead set.
but after like sleeping on it, like all the tackles after like that happened, they all started flying off the board.
Well, it's not like
some,
It's not like we picked Michael Panek. So
Yeah, like some of the tackles all
Yeah.
got like reached on and stuff like that, like in the later rounds. Hey, we hit that charger.
All right,
yeah.
Sorry.
pretty. I think we all pretty much consensus on the pick now. I think we all are good with it, like it. It's just one of those things that, I mean, obviously, if you look at a bunch of mocks, it was definitely mocked that he was going to go there.
A bunch of times, and I hated on him a bunch
but
of times for no reason.
Just, I think our consensus was we were going defense.
Yeah.
We needed
Just because
interior
losing
line.
Reader and all
Right. But it is what it is, man. I'm excited. I'm glad he's a Bengal. So,
that. For sure.
for real.
For sure. And then our next one is second round defensive tackle Chris Jenkins. In the moment we weren't filming, we were at Ice House for this one.
Yeah.
In the moment I was like, this doesn't really move me. And then just because I am more of a pass rush guy than I am a run
Yeah.
stopping guy, that's just me personally. Just because I grew up with Geno Atkins and
Yeah, for
Carlos
sure.
Dunlap, you know what I mean, getting to the quarterback.
And just seeing the guys like tear up like Burrow and our interior
Yeah.
line, you're like, we want a guy like that.
Yeah, I want a
Like,
guy to fucking hit the
I'm
quarterback.
not saying he
Yeah, you know
won't,
what I
but
mean?
like just.
Oh, he's definitely a run stopper.
But
Yeah,
that,
but he is. But he does have the skill set. Maybe it was Michigan not putting him in for those pass
Yeah.
down situations. I think he has the tools to develop into a great pass rusher. So I mean, we just got to wait and see with development what that does.
Yeah, I mean, I like that he played for a team that was obviously, just won the national championship, but even before that was right in the playoffs. Very good program. I like guys coming from those big programs, especially on the defensive side of the ball, just because, I mean, obviously they're poised and ready to go to that next level. But I definitely think that I agree with you. When he got picked, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Not the guy I was expecting. But after kind of watching some of his highlights and seeing how he is like interacting with the team and the media in general, like he's a dog. Like the way he's like chirping,
Mhm.
like he's very in the moment. Like definitely a fan.
the
of
way
him.
he was with like at the draft, like
Yeah.
he showed up to like the draft party, like him and McKinley. He was kind of all cool with our owners and stuff already. But I liked the pick. Well, I liked the pick from because what we had available, and it was kind of a need because Rook had already got taken, and then
Fisk was gone.
Fisk had that taken. What? I
It's
can't.
our girls, bro.
Let's say I can't read that much. But no, but Rook already taken because Rook was the guy I kind of wanted. But then I think the Falcons took him early on. But I don't know. I really wanted Rook, but Chris Jenkins, after like watching some of his highlights, and like seeing his stuff, he kind of impressed me more because I didn't really watch too much of his stuff.
I think obviously losing Reader definitely swayed their pick of who they were kind of targeting early.
Also, the Commanders getting
yeah,
Newton, but
that's what saying Newton and Rook were already
but like
gone.
Sweat was gone too. He was
Yeah.
taken early by the Titans, which I feel like was a reach.
Talent.
I guess what. Then I hate saying reach just because you never know how the
I
player's
think
really
the
going to
talent's
turn out.
there.
But
It was just like the
They-
outside stuff.
Yeah,
Like he was a projected early second rounder. I mean, he was like even a first rounder at some mocks, but I know what you mean. Like,
do you think the Bengals would have taken him if he was like that early? Like if he was there?
I feel like they were really comfortable with Jenkins.
I think so.
Bengals are weird. I think they know who they want before it's even like, because you got to think like you've seen like the reaction videos of some of like when they were turning the cards. Like, every team's excited, but
Yeah.
it seems like the Bengals are very fast.
Well, our next draft pick really gets a reaction.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Chris Jenkins is going to be wearing 90. I do like that for a defensive tackle. I know numbers don't matter. Whatever.
I mean they do for a fan.
I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah.
The look of them.
Like if Jermaine Burton is getting 3 or got 3,
5-1-3.
you know what I mean? Like I'm instantly buying that 3 jersey. Just so I can I don't have a T jersey, so never mind. Shit.
We'll forget about those.
I'm not buying a T jersey. I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, I don't blame. That's always scary.
They were like 50% off or something like that for the last game of the season last year.
for T.
It was like for fifth, third, if you had a fifth, third card.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. You do, don't you?
Yeah, and I do. And I was like,
I mean, that would have been cool
Maybe,
just to
but-
have. Like,
yeah.
but I know what you mean. Like, it's not as fun wearing a player that's not on the team anymore, unless they're like a Bengals legend or like a Hall of Fame.
Like
type
what
player.
you got on the Munoz jersey,
The
baby.
Munoz.
Yeah, shout out my fiance. I got it for $20 at a yard sale.
Yes,
$20
sir.
at a yard sale. What a steal!
That's how you do it. Next pick. Bang on the table.
My,
Bang on the chair pick.
My favorite pick.
My
of the draft.
favorite pick. A plus. A plus.
Dude.
A plus pick.
This guy's gonna take the lid off for us.
He's
You know,
exactly what we need.
He's gonna start in the slot.
Yep.
I am so excited for this pick. Good luck if you're gonna double Jamar now. That's all I gotta say, because this dude is electrically fast. What?
Chantel's comment on
Yeah, I just saw it.
it. She said, "You know who's hot and single? Joe Burrow."
But
The rumors.
Haley just commented hit A plus plus.
yeah, I mean he's electric. I don't know if you guys really. I mean, I know.
That was
Dude,
a guy I really
I stayed
watched
up
too
the
much.
entire night.
yeah,
watching tape.
we also have the same birthday, by the way.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
That's not a guy I really watched too much of because I didn't think like. the
Well,
Bengals would
Alabama
take
this
him,
year was a
but-
little different. To like they weren't obviously the powerhouse, but there's a couple plays that I mean he definitely bailed Miller out. There were a couple plays that Miller just laid it up deep for him. Burns coverage is a great route runner. I definitely
another deep threat that Burrow.
I definitely think they hammered this pick.
100%. I mean, Zach Taylor was really hyped up. I mean, he was banging on the table. He was. That's the first time I've seen him juiced up for a pick, really.
Yeah.
Just because I think he knows.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
it's a steal. I mean, he has some PFF people and a lot of draft people had him as a top 5 talent.
I mean,
it's
Bama
just really
Bama
the off-field
receivers.
stuff.
the off-field stuff. But you do. My favorite thing is TJ has really been making
Yeah.
some comments about he's training them on and off the field situations. So I mean, he's really maturing them, and I feel like he's really going to fit in with us. And
Does he start right
They-
away?
Yeah, I do.
yeah,
I think he
100%.
does.
But they brought it up on I forget what podcast it was. Might have been Locked On. Like you build this culture.
Culture,
Like
yeah.
you have this culture. How about we test it? How about we bring in our non-typical Zach Taylor player and see if this culture can really
Yeah.
transform him.
I would say that's the biggest thing of this draft in general. They swung big. Like they took a lot of guys that have a lot of talent.
typically not
Yeah. Like, there's
typically
lot of guys
not
that
a
I was
Zach
like,
Taylor
okay.
player.
But I'm excited, man. I really do. I mean, obviously we get deeper in the draft.
I will
but
other than the 2020 draft with Joe Burrow. This is my favorite draft
Yeah.
class.
for sure. All the way through. Absolutely.
All of, yeah, all I think I was upset that we drafted 10 players, but looking at our 10 players and the upsides and the ceilings,
Oh, I mean, we drafted probably 6 starters, I'd say.
100%.
You think so?
Yeah. Maybe not right away.
No, not right away.
Not day
Two
one
to
starters.
3 years. Eric All. I mean, shit. We'll get
We'll get there, but
We'll get there.
we can talk about the whole draft recap after.
I
Yeah.
also give Burton an A after because I didn't really watch or know
Dude,
much about him.
A
but-
plus plus
Dude,
plus.
He was a dog.
But
He
after
really
watching
was.
his highlights, I'm like, that's gonna be.
He's super physical at the
defenses are
point
gonna
of
have to be
catch.
playing deep on us. Obviously, they already kind of were with
what
Lamar and
what
Higgins,
the
but
Chiefs, the
Burton too.
Ravens, like the Chiefs and the Ravens really what the defenses they run. You know, Spagnuolo and then. Well, they
A lot
don't.
of
They're
man.
gonna have a defense. Zach Orr's their defense coordinator this year. So
Yeah.
for the Ravens, I mean, they run that press.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not scared to
Bring it on.
Bring it
They-
on.
They run it, yeah.
And Burton's that guy that's gonna kind of make him think twice. But you do have to think Spagnuolo is pretty smart with
Oh,
the
yeah.
Chiefs, and the Ravens have Kyle Hamilton, all pro.
sure.
You know what I mean? So
Hamilton's a dog.
I'm just glad the Chiefs lost Snead.
Yeah, that
I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
they actually are smart and actually use like. I mean, they could. I think they should have got more for him, but
they kind of probably knew he was leaving anyway.
yeah, but I would have kept him for the year.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
if
and
you're trying to do a three-peat, but
It is what it is.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I mean, Titans are a quarterback away.
Quarterback, what you don't believe in Levis?
No.
He said
No
no.
one is coffee.
The biggest reach, like I said, I don't like saying reach for draft prospects, but I think we could have gotten this guy in the 4th, in my opinion. McKinley Jackson. I do like the pick, nose tackle out the gate, big physical guy, football guy. He came in day one in shorts and a t-shirt. He's like, I'm ready to work. Give me a playbook. I do love that type of mentality, you know, just ready to put in the work.
I think he's like one of the guys that like doesn't look good, like scoring,
On the
like
stat
testing and stuff. But like on the field, like people say, like
He's a presence.
Yeah.
He's a presence.
He makes his presence known.
He was a
and
guy that I really honestly wasn't too familiar with, which
I did mock him in one of my
Did you?
drafts. Was fun. Yeah, it was like 5th round though. So
But usually, like, I kind of look and see who the Bengals are like projected to take, and I kind of look at all their, you know, their stats, all their highlights and stuff like that. But honestly, I really did not know much about him. But I will say that he is very physical.
mhm.
And the Bengals have kind of, I'm not going to say lacked physicality on the defensive line, but it's definitely been something that we haven't been able to get home. And I think drafting 2 defensive tackles in this draft is kind of them showing like, hey, we're putting the effort to make this defensive line better. You know, obviously
2 run stopping guys
I
kind of
mean,
fill the void of
and obviously it kind of hopefully will open up the outside for our rushers.
for sure.
And it you know, kind of can lay off the linebackers a little bit, not having to play as much downhill to where we can, you know, stop guys at the line of scrimmage, not 2-3 yards past it. You know, give Logan and Jermaine kind of that freedom that they like to play with.
For sure. I graded this one a C, straight up
C.
C, because it still filled a need for us.
I'll give it a C plus. I
filled
do
a
like
need,
the
but
rotational,
like you
now,
said,
the
we kinda
rotate,
reached
the
on it.
rotation.
but D
I'm a-
tackles were also flying off the board, to be honest. So they
yeah,
probably were like,
yeah, I get it.
I would say somewhere in a C range. I don't know enough about him yet to really give him a fair grade.
Mhm.
I'll have to watch more of him, but I think it was definitely a need. I like going 2 defensive tackles in the top 5 rounds, though. I do like that.
Yeah, our next pick was
tight
a
end.
good one. I
A
liked
great
it.
pick.
Tight end Eric All. When he's on the field, he's
He's an athlete.
an athlete.
I mocked him a decent amount.
it's funny how he played 6 games last year and led Iowa Hawkeyes and receiving.
It tells you something.
It tells you more about Iowa than it does about Eric
Yeah.
All, in my opinion. But
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still a fun little stat.
He'll be out, won't he? He won't.
Well, we don't know. He said he's healthy. He
He's
said he's gonna be good for spring training
Oh,
or
awesome.
spring training, training camp.
Yeah, training camp. Which rookie
This
camp
isn't
starts in 8 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that open to the public?
I don't think so.
Just OTAs?
Whenever we
Yeah.
should go when we can and try to get some
Should
stuff.
for sure definitely try that. And I work downtown too, so hopefully after work they're just
You can get us free parking.
Tight end
too.
room got deep.
Yeah.
The tight end room got deep.
we drafted another tight end, which we'll get to in a few minutes.
But I think I think he's definitely a
team
guy-
captain
Yeah.
at Michigan.
Another guy, if he stays healthy, his highlights look. I mean, the
Yeah,
highlights, but his
electric.
tape looks
He's electric,
absolutely.
dude. Like when he gets the ball in his hand, he's electric. But he played again, like you said, he played at Iowa. Tight end you.
He played 6 games at Iowa.
Yes, people are like,
Let's cool it on the Iowa. Yeah,
Hey,
he put
tight-
on a Hawkeyes uniform.
Tight end you. Tight end you.
Let's not say he's an Iowa product.
Let me ride that high. Tight end you.
You can ride that high. That's cool.
you can write that.
But Eric, I'm definitely a fan of Eric All. I tweeted, "Get ready to learn Skyline, buddy," and then like 5 minutes
Realize
later,
he's from Fairfield.
we were watching the draft in the car. They're like, "Oh, the Fairfield High School kid." I'm like, "Oh shit."
He does. He's like,
I was
I'm
like,
fluent.
"You already know the Skyline.
fluent.
He's native," which I didn't know. I truthfully didn't know that about him, but it's cool. He thought it was a prank call when Zach called him.
He
He said
probably
he
thought
was,
he was gonna go later. Or
he was in a
something.
chest workout. But I mean, he's definitely a big fan of this pick.
It's gonna be tough seeing somebody already wearing 83, but
Yeah, he is going to be wearing 83, which
Does
is
that mean that just officially means?
I mean, I don't think after the Burton pick, I don't think he was coming back anyway.
It would have been nice for him to mentor Burton.
Yeah, but
They're such different players. It's not even.
Yeah, he's got TJ, which is like not in the locker room, but
he's got
Yeah.
TJ.
you know what I mean. All right, next pick, 5th round cornerback from TCU, Josh Newton. He's quickly they got rid of that 28 number. I'm more upset about that than
That's a weird. I feel like that's kind of weird for. I don't know. I
don't like
Like,
28 on a corner.
I don't either. That's what I mean. It's kind of a weird.
Not even that it's just Joe Mixon's
It's usually
number.
like the low
It's-
20s.
I do like that a lot of our DBs are like 26, 27, 28, 29. Like that's
Yeah, they could have won. He could have went 22. It was a Woozier's number,
yeah.
but I don't know if they get to pick their numbers or if they're.
I think they. I mean, I would guess.
I
they
feel like
get-
Burton would have picked 3 if he had the option. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think some of them, like if it's not like say their number in high school or like going back to a different type of number, like a new beginning. But I do think like a lot of guys get to pick their number because isn't like
Mhm.
Marvin Harrison 18? And,
I don't know. He hasn't even signed his thing yet. With
yeah,
it.
he has to though.
I know he
He's
hasn't
gonna
yet. He hasn't yet.
Caleb Williams got 18.
Yeah, that's his high school number.
Yeah, which
Well,
is
he just let Keenan have his number.
which Adunze lost all his aura picking 15.
Yeah,
Is that what he picked?
Yeah, he picked 15. One was on the table for him. He could have went 1. You
Yeah,
have,
maybe I don't know. Maybe some of these guys are
I
like,
just think like it's kind of a new chapter. Like
yeah. I don't know. I would have wanted.
I don't know.
15
15
number.
is not a good number.
Yeah, that's a weird.
Holmes has
receiver
entered
number.
the chat.
That's like
Yeah.
that's like a quarterback number. Like,
Tebow has entered the chat.
Tebow has entered the chat.
Brandon Marshall, which I don't like Brandon Marshall at all.
You don't like Brandon Marshall?
No, because he thinks he's better than Ocho Cinco.
Dion said nah.
Yeah. Everyone in that review, what
Yeah, dude.
podcast was that?
It's
Pivot or whatever?
Brandon's podcast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But Terrell Owens, all
Yeah, he's like
Fred Taylor were like
Brandon Marshall's like, who's the X and who's the Y? And Dion goes, Chaz. Yeah.
T.O. was like, the only person close to me is Chad. Like, Marshall, you ain't that. We're not gonna dive in that rabbit hole though.
it's yeah.
Josh Newton, get into Josh Newton. Would have been a projected first, 2nd round pick last year. Played extremely well throughout that playoff run TCU had.
Did you just have a down year this year?
He had a down year
Well,
this
TCU
year.
as a team had a pretty down. I mean,
Yeah, they-
just weren't. the
So like
same
his
team.
morale was kind of more. I mean,
Well,
Their,
that-
their program as a whole
Like,
was
the year before they were blowing teams out.
yeah.
Like it was kind of like more of a, I think, dynamic shift of the team.
Mhm.
I think he definitely is still that guy.
Definitely still has the talent.
Right around 6 foot, so I mean he's not short. Like he'll be able to compete. I would have liked, like obviously.
Obviously, I mean he's not going to be a starter.
Yeah.
Just because we have Dax Hill, CTB.
Is Dax gonna be?
He's
corner?
outside.
yeah, they said
outside
he's-
corner.
They said like right after the draft he's gonna be a corner and
I
be
like- I
compete
like
not
for
even
outside.
they said compete for outside corner, which me personally, I'd rather him sit behind Mike Hilton because he's an in the box guy. He's
Yeah, but I
quick.
think they want him on the field, man. Like
Yeah,
because he's a freak. I mean,
But
I
the
don't know,
problem
a
is
freak,
if
but
you
he's a
do
great
that,
athlete.
it's either you waste a 1st round pick with Dax Hill, or you're going to sit here and waste a 2nd round pick in Cam Taylor, which they're not.
No, Cam Taylor was
He's
the
corner
starter.
number
He's
1.
CB1, yeah.
Doesn't matter. But DJ Turner, 2nd round pick, that's a wasted pick now.
Yeah.
If
But I will say, like,
good to
having-
have
I was about
competition.
to say having too many corners isn't a problem.
no, it's definitely not a problem, but it's a wasted pick.
Yeah, but like, it's one of those things that you can't see the future.
Yeah.
So like, you take guys in the positions for that specific year,
And a lot of injuries on
and
like
injuries
the corners.
happen, and then like
happen a
guys don't
lot,
always
too.
produce. Like, I mean, Dax at safety, I mean, he was playing okay. He just wasn't making the big plays when he needed to. And I think obviously Jordan Battle, the emergence of him, getting Geno Stone, and then Von Bell really kind of hurts Dax Hill's playing ability.
Yeah.
Still having Mike Hilton, obviously, he's going to be the slot guy. So really, the only option for him to see the
I
field.
feel like we're just going to have a rotating
we will.
field.
I hope Lou does some like cool stuff with the defense this year.
I feel like we
he has the
might
talent to do some
A lot of
crazy stuff.
options, too.
Yeah, like,
if you can
not
get a
blankets, like-
defense in where you're sending Mike Hilton on a blitz this play, DJ Turner the next, Dax
Dax,
Hill the
like-
nail, like dude,
we
it's
have so much talent on the defense this year. A lot of like unproven talent.
Our
as far
defensive
as, like,
back room
consistency.
nickel. When we run nickel this year,
Oh yeah,
dude, it's gonna be quick.
I will say this though, the two guys that I'm like, I need you to be back to what you were is Logan and Jermaine. I think they
True.
did both,
Last year was
they
definitely a
both
down
had
year.
down years last year.
Logan looked so slow last
And
year.
if they can
yeah.
get back to what they were just 2 years ago,
but here's the
the
thing:
Bengals will be
with
on that
all of
level
our
again.
speed on the field, even them up the middle, if Lou can cook something up
Yeah.
to where it's the well, you got to think last year we had no Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
So our depth of field was
Yeah.
a lot different
And now we have Gino.
because you did look when Jordan Battle started to play.
It started shrinking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The depth of field really shrunk, and they looked a lot more comfortable.
Dude, Jordan Battle, man. Shout out Jordan.
He
We were
better-
Jordan
he
Battle
better
fans.
still be
I
playing.
think he'll start. I think
He better.
I think it'll be him and Stone.
Him in the run and the pass.
I think Von Bell will probably start.
You think it'll
think
be
so?
like a rotation?
I think they go Bell
Stone and
Battle
Battle.
and
I do
Stone.
like that.
to start, but I do think it's going to be a lot of split snaps. I really
Yeah.
do.
I don't want Von Bell taking that Mike Thomas role now, where he's the mentor. I do want to
No,
see
I
him
want
on
him
the
to
field.
play. Yeah,
No, I think he's
still-
going to play.
Yeah.
I think he will.
But I do think it'll be like a rotation of guys, which is good, which I think is really good.
Yeah,
For sure.
Next pick, taking Mitchell Wilcox number, tight end Tanner McLachlan. I heard his talent's unbelievable. I haven't done much tape on him yet. I heard the biggest things was he has short arms.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
I'm in the same boat as you. I haven't really watched much of him.
the little
I
bit
just
I
don't
did
watch
watch.
Arizona.
I'm impressive with his open field awareness, his route running,
He
in his
sounded
hands.
super grateful on his draft call and stuff.
Yeah.
I like the pick too because I mean, just signing Gesicki, like it gives him a fire too.
Yep.
Like, oh crap, I got two young guys on me now. Like I need to have a career year this year.
Yep.
Competition's great in the NFL. Like you get a guy in a room that he knows he's the one. Like you
Yeah.
might not get the most out of him.
I mean, our tight end room. I mean, you got Tanner Hudson, Eric All,
Gesicki.
Gesicki, McLaughlin,
yeah.
Drew Sample.
I think Sample gonna kind of just
I-
transition
wait,
to fullback.
I've seen
I
that.
think he'll be on the line, like obviously at times, but like, do you think he'll?
But again, like this gives Lou and Dan Pitcher really have
they
the
got all the
tools
pieces. They got the pieces.
to really cook up some cool shit.
Yeah.
Well, there could be times where there's like 3 or 4 tight ends on the field if we keep like all of them on the roster. Like Samples like the halfback in the backfield blocking. You got Gesicki lining up in the slot.
Which Gesicki's
And then
basically a receiver.
yeah,
big
that's what I'm
body
saying. Like he
receiver.
could be
big
lining up in
receiver.
the slot.
Yeah.
And then like one of them, if like All or McLaughlin, if one of them,
If we just
or even
if
Hudson.
we play our cards right, I mean it's
Bengals. I mean, I'm like we'll get into it after the draft recap, but
Yeah.
I really think they knocked this draft out of the park and the offseason out of the park.
Yeah.
like it's been.
And like Karras said, like, did you guys watch Karras' little interview where he said like he was sweating the whole draft, kind of putting perspective on the like how NFL players like vets and guys like watch the draft, like if they take
replacement.
yeah, he's like he's super glad after like the 3rd round he was like he kind of relaxed and took a chill because they didn't take like an interior offensive lineman that could maybe obviously Matt could still he ain't gonna take a spot this year, but like it's a little more
mean,
competition, but he's
I mean,
saying like
if you
it's
think-
good to get all this
yeah, I mean, if
competition
you
because
think
it
about
just
it
makes
like
your
that,
team that much more
If
better.
you think about it in that sense, like every draft they're drafting replacements.
Yep.
Like in the NFL, your job's not safe. So like,
Because that's what he said. He said in New England they were drafting guys. He was just beating them out for the job.
Yeah.
That's because
that's how it is, man. It's a business.
So I don't know. I'm excited about this pick. I gave it a B.
I'll give it a B. I mean, 6th round. He's
B. It's hard to grade 6, 5th through 6th.
It's
it's all the
5th through
diamond
7th.
in the roughs.
Yeah, I mean, you could find some studs.
That's
Our
where
next
your drafts go from good to great is when you hit on like a 6 through 7 round, like 5 through
Yeah.
6 or 7 rounders.
when you hit on a Tom Brady, yeah.
Oh yeah, but
A Brock Purdy.
I mean, Antonio Brown, Isaiah Pacheco.
Puka in the 3rd. I mean, that's the 3rd.
Dude, Isaiah Pacheco, man.
I know the
That's
Pacheco. And
such an irritating.
I wanted that
draft
girl.
pick.
I wanted the guy from the
It's
Louisville.
crazy because
If we were gonna draft the
I
running back.
absolutely
He went to the
love.
Niners, I think. I think he went to the Niners.
Like I hate
Where-
the Chiefs,
where did,
but I love Pacheco.
Mob go? Where did Mob go? He get drafted? Did Mob get drafted?
the older running back.
Yeah,
Probably not.
I
no.
look. I don't remember his name. What school was it? Like
Dylan-
Colorado
Dylan
State.
Mob,
It was like
right?
Colorado State or something. No.
Coastal Carolina, I think.
Let me go. I'll try to look him
While you
up.
guys do that, get into our next pick.
Mob.
Edge rusher from Ole Miss, Cedric Johnson. His athletic profile is insane.
I like that he wears number 2.
He's wearing 52 now.
Yeah, but
for
I
us,
just like single numbers.
Yeah. I'm excited for him to be added to the defensive end rotation if he does really show out. I think this is a kind of a Osai replacement just because
6'3", 260.
Osai hasn't really seen the field, and I think it's because of behind the scenes stuff that we know. I think Osai's a great player, but
So do you think obviously Trey
when he is on the field, he doesn't produce.
Trey and Hubbard will be the starters? But do you think Murphy kind of
Murphy will play a lot
you think
more.
He's coming. Like
Yeah. I mean, we saw towards the end of the year Murphy really get in.
New Hampshire. He played New Hampshire. He got drafted by the Raiders.
Raiders.
I mean, we
round.
took Murphy 1st round. I feel like that's a guy they're
Going
kind of
Lave.
leaning on.
Lave.
Yeah.
take a big leap.
I was just curious because like last year, I think they kind of, which I love Hubbard, but sometimes I wish they kind of would have gave Murphy more time.
I mean, again, it's another thing that Lou can cook up is, I mean, your fronts. I mean, you can make with drafting, Cedric Johnson, you can make your defense very light, or you can make your
Heavy.
Very heavy.
Yeah, if a team's running down your throat, throw the heavy guys in until they start throwing.
And then, you know what I mean? You play teams like,
And that's
I don't even know who they'll really.
and I think that's part of the reason why
Like the
me
Ravens.
and
The
Gary.
Ravens, I
if
mean, you
Dallas
get some
Turner would've been there,
athletic.
though.
You know what I mean? You're playing the Ravens. I mean, and you got, hell, you could put, you know what I mean, all your athletic guys up front, like Cedric Johnson. I mean, you need people to run down the Mar.
We need
Yeah.
Osai and like some of those younger guys.
We need-
too.
I need-
that's like what
I thought
the-
Osai would break out this year.
The disc golf dad said Osai could be a Billy Price trade if like he doesn't.
I don't know
like
if we
some other
could.
guys.
I don't know if we could finesse another trade like that.
I don't know. Like some of those teams like that are kind of desperate sometimes.
True.
But
Yeah,
I
that's true.
almost want to keep them though. But no, I was saying like if Dallas Turner would have been there, that was me minding your point. Like
Yeah.
that would have been disgusting. Like Dallas Turner, Hendrickson.
Yeah, I mean,
like-
filthy.
Yeah.
Like, but I get like we probably still would have taken Mims or
I really think we would have taken Dallas Turner if he was there.
you think so?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, Zach obviously probably would have said this no matter who they took, but he was like saying Mims.
Well,
was
yeah,
the
I
pick
mean,
no matter
obviously
what.
that's the mindset you have going after you draft because you want your guy to be confident coming into the building. But I think if Dallas Turner was there, Lou might have choked him out if he didn't draft him.
7th round safety Dejon Anthony from Ole Miss, Cedric's teammate. He does play a little bit of nickel. Wearing 33 is not a good look considering we're just coming off the Nick Scott
Besides,
year.
Trey Flowers didn't look bad in it. Didn't do bad in it.
You know he didn't, but like I said, we
He
are
had a good
coming off
role
that.
that Super
We
Bowl
are
run.
coming off that.
Hey, it's every other. Flowers.
Nick
looks
Scott.
good. Scott sucked. Anthony
Yeah.
will be a stud. There we go.
Yeah, I hope so because I heard he plays nickel. Problem with this is kind of like you're kind of flushing out. If he does compete at safety, you're flushing out Tyson Anderson.
Yeah.
But you are making Tyson Anderson compete.
I think he might be a practice.
I'm all
squad
for it.
guy
I
this
think
year.
Tyson Anderson's fast as shit.
I agree.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think that some of these guys, obviously, I wouldn't say, I mean, not too many of them, but somebody like that would benefit from a year on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Just especially how deep our DB room is. Like,
I mean, Von Bell ain't getting younger.
no,
So, I
no.
mean,
And it was a 1 year, wasn't it? Yeah.
it's just whatever the rest
we
of the
picked up
Panthers
Panthers
was.
contract. She signed a 2-year deal with the Panthers. So,
yeah,
yeah,
1 year.
one left.
It was like 1 year, $6 million. Like
Yeah.
Panthers.
Shout out to
We're paying
Panthers. I'm pretty sure they're
vet
paying
minimum.
for it,
Yeah,
too.
We got the
we're
vet
paying a
minimum.
vet minimum.
In fact, I'm pretty sure they're paying Hayden Hurst's contract over for the Chargers, too, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they
so.
are.
That's nuts.
Panthers, man.
Not really much to say about Dejon Anthony, really. Our last pick of the draft was center Matt Lee. Everyone was freaking out on Twitter, like, are we going to go interior line or what are we going to do? We pick up Matt Lee, which is kind of a steal a little bit just
Sure.
because of his athletic profile
He ranked
at the
like
position.
one of the highest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interior line.
He gave up no
PFF or
pressures,
something.
no sacks, and no hits. Kind of like him and Amarius Mims. I mean, we're great. When you look at their pass blocking sets, they're phenomenal. Their big problem was his strength, I think, and his size. That's why he went to the 7th round. He is smaller for a center, but I guess we'll really find out how it plays out in the NFL. But
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say. I hope he ends up being a huge steal for us. after the
62 ain't a bad number. So
No.
let us know in the comments what you guys grade everyone. I was really happy with this draft.
Overall, I give the Bengals like a B plus
Yeah, overall, for sure.
grade wise.
Yeah, I would give this draft a B+ to an A-. Just up
I think
to-
I give it on Twitter.
I think you gave it A minus.
definitely give it an A. I'll stick with that. Going in that was my day 1 through 2 picks were an A minus, and I'd still even after that I'd continue with an A minus. All right, big winners and losers for the first. Let's just go. You guys want to go first round or team wise?
we can just get.
I kind of did team, but
I mean,
it was mostly based off like the first 2 rounds. Like I know
Okay.
after that, like I didn't really know too much, but I thought obviously a big winner was the Bears, getting Caleb obviously, and then Rome, the Doomsday, and then they got the BYU tackle. I think in the 2nd round. So
yeah, they
and
hit the ball.
Bears nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you have 2 top 10 picks. Like, kind of hard to really
Yeah.
mess it up. But like,
Apparently, they were thinking about trading up to take room, but
Yeah,
they just stood still and had patience.
Yeah, because they would have got another receiver if anything. I'm gonna go my winner Eagles, Quinny Mitchell and Cooper DeJean.
Getting
Obviously
Cooper in the second
a
day two.
team that kind of fizzled out last year, who was letting up a lot of points. Don't really need offensive help. I mean, they have 2 stud receivers.
They're
Hurts
building up
and-
their defense.
Yeah,
off like the last 2-3
they
years.
really
defense.
are. I mean,
like
they have some young
bunch
studs.
of the Georgia Bulldogs last
got
year or
2
whatever.
of the top 3 defensive backs in this draft. So
They built up like the interior last year with like the big
Carter, Jalen Carter,
Oh yeah, Jalen Carter and
Jordan Davis.
And then they got the linebacker also from Nolan.
Yeah,
He ended up playing a little better towards the end of the year.
I can't think of his name.
Jones, I think. No, that's
No,
that's
it's
baseball.
it'll come to me.
I'll be the negative one and go the biggest loser of the draft. I think it's the Falcons.
for sure.
Not even just the Falcons. I'll go the biggest loser of the draft, Kirk Cousins.
I mean, yeah. I mean, unless
Or it's the biggest loser is either Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins.
I would say Kirk, because I mean,
One of the two.
Penix. I mean, he might sit this year if Kirk plays bad. I mean, they're on the hook for a big contract, but
4-year deal, mostly guaranteed.
Falcons have done some weirder stuff, though. I will say. I mean, they let Desmond
It's like
Ridder
his
ride out,
his
so.
first 2 years, or
Well, it's like
where
the
he's getting all his pay.
Falcons-
So it's pretty much like a 2-year contract. It's 4 years, but like his
think-
pay after year
Falcons-
2, if they're not
I
happy.
think they did that maybe to trade him.
No,
Trade.
Phoenix.
no.
No.
They said like if Kirk were to go down, they still want to be good enough team to where they can compete and stuff. It's
I
like
mean,
what's
I
their
get-
mindset,
I mean,
and
I
they
get
don't think
that.
they're gonna be a team like bad enough
I
in
just
the next couple of years to have that high of a pick to take a
Well, their
quarterback.
defense
again.
is insane. They're gonna have a really good defense.
That was their mindset that they said and came out with
But
after.
why would you not draft him
drafted.
another weapon? Or draft?
or
That's-
Dallas Turner or one of the
who's
top
their,
corners?
who's their
Yeah.
wide receiver 2 right now?
I mean,
Their
you
rece-
got
their receivers
London,
are-
Pitts,
They traded for Mooney,
Bijan,
or they signed Mooney.
Mooney. I mean, that's all their weapons right now. Algier, obviously, running back too, but
I'll look it up. I don't remember who they're.
dude, that's crazy to me. I mean, if you guys saw our reactions, I think we were all like, "What the?"
Yeah,
hell?
I
Another big
tweeted
loser, Taylor Heineke. I mean,
Yeah,
He
had
just signed a
taken-
deal.
He
Signed a
took a
deal.
cheaper deal to stay and be the backup.
well, now you're third string, buddy.
Yeah, you're third string.
I think Penix is also kind of a loser, like you were saying. Like
Yeah,
a
he's
loser
already
'cause
older. Like
he
He's
could have went to
24.
he could have went to maybe like Vegas because Vegas thought about
Instant
trading
starter.
up and
Instant
thought
starter.
about trading up to try to get.
Denver,
I'm not
instant
gonna lie.
starter.
If I'm an NFL team, I'm on the phone with Atlanta.
Oh, and they got Rondale Moore, so it's Rondale Moore, Mooney, London,
So I'm not a horrible
I
cast.
don't
'Cause
know,
you have
doesn't really
Bijan,
move
and they have Ray McLeod from the Niners,
and you have Bijan, so,
right?
I mean,
Or is he
Yeah, I
from
mean,
the Steelers?
Yeah, their
McLeod-
offensive line's pretty good too.
yeah, they got
Really,
a squad. I mean,
can they cook up some? Their linebackers are still a weak spot. I think.
yeah, I mean,
Their defensive front really isn't all that because they just lost Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have benefited from a defensive
they
end for
drafted-
sure.
They got Anya Meta though,
didn't they draft
and they
him?
drafted Rukaroro. He's
Yeah,
not
but they
DN,
reached on Rukaroro.
Yeah.
They did reach, but they kind of needed to.
But they could
Newton was available.
But they could have got Dallas
True.
Turner because I don't know who the Zach Harrison is. That's their starting D end right now. They could have had Dallas Turner and then.
But
still
they were
got
also
Ru-
picking early first. They could have went whoever they
They
wanted.
literally
Yeah,
were
one of the
traded
top
back.
corners.
Like,
They could have traded back at 2 second-round picks.
you
they
could have
wanted.
gotten. I mean,
You could have got a first
let's
next
be
year.
realistic. Like,
and
if
a
you're that
second round
worried
this
about
year.
it, Spencer Rattler could have done the same thing for what you're trying to do right now.
Oh, for sure. If you wanted to develop a quarterback, I'd
Yeah.
feel more comfortable with Spencer Rattler just because his upside is he's a little bit more athletic than Michael Penix,
Yeah,
especially with this offense. Michael Penix is strictly a pocket passer, just like Kirk Cousins. So, I mean, I don't know. To me, they were the loser. Just
yeah.
I like Michael Penix. I don't like Michael Penix to the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, we could have went to the Raiders. There's somebody else I feel like that was thinking about trading up in the top 10 to try to get Penix. Apparently,
Broncos, they got-
Seahawks.
Seahawks. I think it was Seahawks.
Was it Seahawks?
It was Seahawks. And
I would say the Broncos are a loser too.
taking Bo Nix. I
Yeah.
mean, after that, if somebody else would have traded, if the Raiders would have took him, then they're stuck with
Who's the next quarterback taken after? It was Rattler in the
Rattler.
fifth.
That's what I said.
No,
So then
I
they're kinda
understand why
screwed.
they did it. Personally, I think that's really early.
And
for
did,
Bo
and did
Nix.
you hear like the story? But they apparently think like Sean Payton thinks Bo Nix as highly as like he did when Pat Mahomes got drafted. Because like, did you hear the story? Like he wanted to trade up, and then
he wanted Mahomes?
and then the Chiefs trade up. And took
Yeah,
him.
everyone's going to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just media talk. I think Bo Nix
I like that they got Troy Franklin.
If you
too,
really
so you
felt that
kinda get to still
comfortable,
see that
if you
connection.
really felt like this is a game changing guy, you know what you do? You give up your entire future for him.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's not like the Chiefs drafted him thinking, "Oh, this guy is going to be."
No, they
Be
thought
it.
they thought he was going to be legit, but they did. They would have traded higher up if they were.
If they would have known
Nobody
this,
could
they
have
would have
predicted
given up.
what Mahomes has done. Though, let's
Yeah.
be real. I mean, he's
But I will tell you what, Mahomes has had the benefit of sitting and
behind Alex Smith
being with a winning organization already.
absolutely yeah.
and having a
And
great
having-
head coach.
People
of
forget
Andy
that shit.
Reid.
People really do forget. It irritates me. He got drafted to a 12-4 team
People like
or
do the
11-5,
comparison.
whatever they were.
Burrow
I
got
mean, they
drafted
made
to
the
the
playoffs.
Divisional
They
round
made the
team.
playoffs. Yeah,
They were. It's not like the Chiefs are losing with Alex Smith.
Yeah, they traded up to go get him.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, I mean,
Because people were like, he was a 15th pick. Like some people don't think like
but
that.
my thing is like 15's not late. Let's not act like if you're a first round player, that's not a late pick.
no.
Like you can't use
The late picks is
all
like
these
the
guys
playoff
drafted before
guys.
me,
where it's
wasn't
like,
wasn't he the 11th pick?
No, I think it was.
I think he was like 10th or 11th pick.
Because
Josh
John
Allen was
Ross,
7th.
John Ross was 10th, and they picked after
Yeah,
us.
you're right. I think it was like 11th.
So I'm pretty sure he was pick 11
But
because Mitchell Trubisky was pick 2,
either way to me though, like if you're a first round NFL draft pick,
Yeah, he was 10th overall.
you can't really use that as
so
like,
we got 9.
you can't really
John
use
Ross-
that as
Chiefs
like a-
traded up with the Bills.
I don't think so. So it was a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
But my thing with Sean Payton is like if you you got to go get your guy.
Yeah, if you really believe that, like if you know what I mean,
Like the Dolphins, for example, they tried to
Yeah.
get the first pick from us, and they tried we would have had a haul
oh yeah,
from the Dolphins.
but we stuck with Joe.
We knew that Burrow was our guy, which he has proven to be.
Yeah, I mean, took us to our first Super Bowl in
Yeah.
30 years.
So again, if you really Bo Nix,
We'll have to see. That's all. I mean, we'll have to
wasn't
see.
successful at Auburn, wasn't really successful at Oregon.
Yeah, he transferred from the SEC where he struggled, went to the Pac-12 where he dominated because
It's the
He-
Pac-12.
the defenses aren't really.
Again, that's another knock on Caleb Williams that he did play in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. I do think Pac-12 quarterbacks have the benefit of the doubt of not playing tougher defenses.
the
but
thing is, like, Bo
it's
Nix had the
still-
longest time in the pocket to throw of any college quarterback. He had dump off routes to the running back. He over 60% of his yards were yak. So I mean,
We're gonna
it's-
find out in Denver. I don't think they got that. good of a
again.
line
Denver
anymore.
I think Denver needs a lot more than a quarterback. If I'm Denver, I would be sitting for a quarterback next year.
Yeah.
They could have got like Dallas Turner, or like
They
one of the
would
better
they would have
defenders.
benefited from a
I
lot
like
of different
the teams
people.
that take the approach of get your quarterback last.
Yes.
Take your lumps while you're
It's-
building your
because they're the
team.
ones that
It's
traded
proven.
for Zach, right?
It's
Yeah.
proven.
Broncos?
Yeah.
Because
Like-
I would have rolled with Zach and like had waited till the draft next year too, like Shador or something.
or Quinn or
Yeah, and taking one of the better defenders
And-
like Dallas, because like all their defense is left in the recent years
after-
besides like Surtain.
After the 49ers, what they did with Brock Purdy, I'm a firm believer you know who your guy is by week 1.
100%.
Because Kyle Shanahan saw one week of Brock Purdy and said, "This is our guy."
Yeah, it's
Obviously, they gave Trey Lance the benefit of a doubt, and he got hurt, and
the rest is history. But
yeah. But he knew he saw something in Brock Purdy.
I will say though, it's like it's hard to do that because you're a business, so you obviously want to put the best product you can on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really have a good core and a quarterback's coming into a team that's kind of like, I mean, the Bears did it perfect.
Mm-hmm.
They used Fields in a way of kind of weathering the storm, keeping them, decent enough to win some games. But this offseason, the last offseason, they brought in pieces that Caleb Williams is going to have.
I'm a firm
best
believer that they
situation
knew
ever.
going in.
No, yeah,
Like-
I agree. I mean, they got lucky. The Panthers were doggy, and they got the first pick from
Yeah.
them.
They did get luck.
Um,
That is luck.
But that last draft, when they traded those picks,
Again, the Panthers, that's another team where you're picking first in back-to-back years. Technically,
Yeah,
you're picking
yeah,
first in
yeah.
back-to-back years. It's not. I won't blame Bryce Young for his failure so far. I will strictly blame the
gotta
Panthers
I
organization.
give a quarterback 3 years. 3 years. I think that's when you can fully
Burrow,
evaluate.
obviously, he transformed Cincinnati, but I will say it's the coaching staff and everything has kind of helped that.
Yeah, they brought in guys around him. That's what you have to do.
But I do feel for Bryce Young.
Yeah,
The same way I'm going to feel for Bo Nix. I don't think Denver's a team ready to compete.
No.
Um,
And then it's all shifted on that rookie quarterback.
and my thing is like the reason why I grade the Falcons a loser really is just because did sign Kirk Cousins for 4 years.
A big contract.
If you sign him for 2 years,
it makes
less
sense.
money,
It makes sense.
it makes complete and total sense why you would draft this guy now, because you are confident that Kirk Cousins is going to win you games. But now you're sitting there with you're paying a quarterback a lot of guaranteed money, plus you have to pay
a first round pick.
Top 10 picks get paid a lot more
Yeah.
than late round or late first round picks. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a different money. But
And that's what I was saying. Like they're saying that the Kirk deal is pretty much could be a 2-year if it, like because he's getting all his money in the first
Pretty
2
sure
years.
all first round picks is all guaranteed.
I don't know. I'm not.
Because I remember Burrow on a podcast talking about how much he got paid for his rookie deal, and it's like I'm pretty sure he said first round picks is all guaranteed.
Probably.
So I mean, that's a lot of guaranteed money.
But Panthers, I have them as a loser as well. They traded with the Bills like one pick up to get Xavier Legette.
Yeah, which I feel like the Bills were all over Keon Coleman anyways.
My thing is, if you're going to trade up for a receiver, why wouldn't you take the better receiver? I think Keon Coleman's better.
Oh, I do too. I think obviously he didn't test well at the combine, but I
don't get why he slipped so far. I really don't.
I will tell you exactly why Jordan Travis got hurt.
Yeah.
If Jordan Travis doesn't get hurt, Keon Coleman's a top 15 pick.
He was dogging, dude. I mean, he was
because
when
they started the college, it was like 5 games of the college football season. I was like, dude, this Keon Coleman guy
yeah.
is a legit target.
Dude, he's big. And
he's fast as shit.
It's a guy the Bills needed. Like a guy that kind of like
Josh Allen's going to love him, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's going to be a better culture guy than Stephon Diggs.
He already is.
Yeah,
have
for sure.
All the clips. Like,
yeah. Super funny.
He's almost instantly like the number one. He's not because he's a rookie, so you don't know what he's going to bring. But like it's him, Curtis Samuel,
did you watch
and
a lot
Shakir.
of him at Florida State?
Yeah, I loved watching him until George Travis got hurt. Because I also wanted Jared Verse. I wanted the Bengals. I liked him early on.
I really do think Keon Coleman was a receiver that was very slept on in this draft.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's hard when you're in a draft with Rome, Marvin Harrison Jr., Neighbors, like
a
lot of big names, but I think he's right up there talent wise with all of them.
Yeah. All right. Another winner I had was the Commanders. Obviously, outside of Jay Daniels, they got Newton. They got Ben Sinnott, a guy we really all like too.
They hit all the marks that they needed to hit.
And they did it efficiently too. They didn't really take reaches. They didn't really.
They stayed. I mean,
they traded quite a bit. Oh, another team that I just thought about quarterback wise around the conversation. The Vikings with JJ McCarthy.
I had them as a winner.
Dude,
I know JJ, but they also got Dallas Turner.
I feel like we're gonna see some Kenny Pickett-ish shit with these teams. With like, I do like JJ McCarthy, but I feel like
he has the best receiver out of all of them to throw to. So,
but I just feel like when you just have to reach for a quarterback, that
sucks.
That's when it typically does not work out.
Yeah,
and I felt like they traded up to take him.
Yeah, they did.
Which our internet
it was like one
during
pick.
that.
Yeah, they traded like
one pick.
Again, but why waste that capital?
Because maybe somebody else was trying to trade up with him. I could have
seen the Jets taking him for a backup.
Because maybe the Jets were like, hey, they're also trying. Like this team is also trying to trade
the Jets, dude. They took every running back available in this draft.
I know. It's like they don't even need it. They got Brees.
Braylon Allen's gonna dog there though.
Oh,
Brees.
Did you see what he tweeted the other day? No. He said Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna get touched.
I wanted.
I heard
that before.
They took Olu though. He's good.
Yeah, they did take Olu Fashanu.
They had a good draft.
Steelers also had a good draft. They took two of the ones that I like. They have Tanu,
unfortunately,
and Roman Wilson and Zach Frazier. I like.
Which I feel like Burton's a better prospect.
On their depth chart, Frazier's already the starter as center. So.
Oh yeah, they cut their center.
Did they?
Yeah, they don't have a center. Well, now they do.
I will say historically, the Steelers have drafted pretty well. I mean,
yeah, historically they've always been a winning franchise, but at what cost?
Their soul.
Yeah, pretty much.
I had the Raiders kind of as a winner.
A Steelers fan.
Brock Faldo.
A Steelers fan went on a rant about that. They're like, "Oh, that's cool. We can win, have a winning record every fucking year in the regular season, but as soon as we hit the playoffs, we completely fold." Which I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm a Bengals fan. I know exactly how that feels."
Yeah,
we went 5 straight years.
Yeah,
to the playoffs.
First round,
boom,
exit.
lost. Boom, lost. I tell you what, the biggest heartbreak loss was that Steelers game.
Oh my god,
2015.
Yeah,
Montez and them ran to the freaking locker room.
We're like, yes. I was celebrating.
Side note: Jeremy Hill did not fumble.
Jeremy Hill was back in the Natty or something.
Mr. Fumble Boy or Fumble Boy back in the Natty.
Of course, he got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, with the Patriots.
Yeah, I have a big problem with players sitting practice squad like, "Oh, look at my ring.
Look at my ring."
Dumbass, water boy.
You would have had another with the Bengals, man. If you would have. All right. Anyway, I'm not going down that.
You just said he didn't fumble.
Yeah, but he didn't. But don't let go of the ball at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest problem with that game was the Martavis Bryant touchdown.
Oh, it came back as not a touchdown. NFL.
Like
Yeah.
the next day.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool, guys. Thanks.
Call from the studio, Gene.
Yeah. Which I feel like the NFL should be able to, from like, hey, Roger Goodell, a lot of people don't know this. Roger Goodell has the God rule where he can change any outcome that he feels, which obviously he'll never will.
He'll never do that.
But
that would cause, dude, could you imagine sports betting and stuff now too?
Yeah. I don't want to get, I feel like when it should have been utilized was
Saints Rams.
No, Bengals Bills with the DeMar Hamlin game.
Yeah.
I know you can never predict an outcome, but if Roger Goodell was at that game and if anyone was at that game,
Bengals were winning.
The atmosphere was the best I've ever been a part of in my life. To this day, I will say the atmosphere was insane. And
it looked electric on the
TV. It was crazy.
Remember, I was here watching.
The offense was unstoppable.
You were like,
defense.
I guess I'm going home.
The Bills' defense didn't even have a chance against us that night. And then, unfortunately, tragedy struck with DeMar Hamlin. But I feel like that game kind of screwed the Bills and Bengals over that year.
It did.
Just because it was such
Bengals
a weird.
Really got screwed.
Yeah,
we had no shot.
We had to do the flip a coin. Shit.
Mixon brought out the flip a coin for a celebration.
That pissed me off.
We had no shot at the 1 seed because of it.
Yeah, which I feel like we would have had.
It would have been close. Yeah,
you would have been as long as we kept winning all home games.
Oh, I'll be at every home game. Yeah,
man would have been broke.
No, not really. Their playoff tickets aren't that much for a season ticket member.
Really?
Just a little bit over what you normally would pay.
Yeah, my playoff ticket for the Raiders was $150, and I sit in section 106, so it's not like
a piece or just yeah.
And then and then
it was like 3 something.
Yeah, but where were you guys sitting though?
We were at
300. You know what I mean? You guys were up though. Like mine was 150, and I was
in your lower bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you do get like that, and then I think they gave us brackets for like how much it would cost. Like it was 150 for wild card, 175 for divisional, and then obviously championship game.
Yeah. Do you get offered? If the Bengals make the Super Bowl, do you get offered?
No,
I didn't know.
No. Because I remember when
it's
they
pretty
did
much like all celeb, like they make
prices. Which when Joe Burrow said that, and then probably why he'll never make another one. NFL make sure he doesn't make another one. They're like, oh, you said this is a fucking.
It's not even like a game.
Yeah, he said it didn't feel like a game. You know, you're just being watched by all these people who don't really care about football.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks.
A bunch of celebrities and stuff go hang out. People who have money, like
it kind of sucks. Like the average fan should be able to experience the Super Bowl.
I don't really. Yeah, I mean the tickets are crazy.
You know what I mean? Like the Super Bowl is the most watched television event in the history of television. Why is it the most expensive event to attend to and rely? It's it's a diehard, like, you know what I mean? Like
fans will never get to go.
You know, it's different. Like the World Series, like, tickets are expensive, but there's also
not like that.
A minimum 4 games.
Let's say you get multiple opportunities to see.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know what I mean?
NBA,
you get at least 2 home games per team. So I mean, real fans attend those games. Like my dad's attended many Reds playoff games just because they're attainable tickets. Yeah. And like my family, like, you know, I mean, they've been the World Series games because baseball has attendable games for ticket pricing. Where the Super Bowl, the cheapest ticket is probably $10,000.
Like 5 to 10 grand. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not attainable for like us. You know what I mean?
Like not an everyday guy.
Yeah. But we're going to be in front of the TV watching the shit though. But like you don't hear fans over the TV. No one's really that and
like you don't get any advantage. Like
I feel in home field advantage is such a slept on thing. Too.
Yeah,
like it's like momentum. You like people feed off the atmosphere. They feed off of like the crowd getting into it. Like me and Chantel, like we were in the car the other day, and I started playing the intro song like the Bengals play for their player intros. I'm like, that's what I was like just bored. Dude, I started to get chilled. I was like, I'm fucking ready for football.
They're doing the new Bengals and the new numbers. Or like,
I was like, dude, I need this. I was like, I need football back.
It's coming
soon too, and it's like I hype myself up every year, and then some
training,
stupid shit.
Preseason start in August.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, 3 months.
I want it to be 2 games for preseason. instead of the 4. I get it because they want to get the newer guys.
What are your guys' thoughts on you can wear they can wear Guardian helmets?
I
now.
know they can wear
Wear
this
what you
in the
wanna wear.
games.
No,
Yeah,
I
Who-
don't really care.
How many do you think will actually wear it?
Not many. I
think
truthfully
guys
believe
who have concussion issues will. That's it. I
if I'm in the trenches, maybe.
probably would.
I mean, if I'm I don't know. T's been popped quite a few times.
If I had some pops, I would probably wear one.
Yeah.
But if I'm a guy, obviously you don't ever want to get hit that hard, get a concussion, but that's football.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's football. I mean,
For
you
sure.
know what you're getting into. You're getting paid for.
That's like Joe Burrow says. That's what keeps me confident about him. And when he talks about his injuries, he's like, I chose this profession. He's like, I know exactly what this does to my body. I know what it will do. What can happen.
it's football.
Yeah. Which most players should have that mindset. Which
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of players come out and say we're putting our lives on the line. Which I mean, the death percentage on the football field is very, very low. But
yeah,
I mean, you think of after football.
That's what it is. It's,
Really,
it's
I mean,
after.
you look at Antonio Brown right now, and
Yeah, or just
CT,
not even
ESPN.
your head, just your body.
I mean,
man.
you see. I mean, I hate
Munoz's
seeing it.
hands.
And there's quite a bit of
like,
the suicide rate's kind of
sucks, man. Yeah.
it's kind of up there for former NFL players too.
Yeah, I definitely think the NFL. I don't know what their after policy is, as far as help.
As long as you're vetted after 4 years.
So you make a past rookie deal, you're
But they made an exception for DeMar Hamlin. Because there was the chance he never came back to football. They did make an exception for him, so he's already vetted.
yeah. So I like that then.
Yeah.
As long as they should definitely take care of their guys because they're making them a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. Everything's a business with. That's why another big problem with the NFL is everything's just so about money. That's my biggest problem with sports is money. But I mean, you kind of need it. I get it.
It's how we can watch it on the TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's teams who don't spend their money, like the Bengals.
They have recently.
Before I'm saying the last 5
Say
years,
10 years ago.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Where
Yeah.
we're Mike Brown's keeping all of his money and all of his dough. Spend that shit, dude. You gotta spin the win a little bit.
You got fans, man. You're in a city for a reason. If you don't want to play, if you don't want to own a team, sell it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it. If an NFL owner doesn't want to do
that's what I love
just
about the Bengals right now.
Just sell
Is it didn't feel like the Brown family really loved us as much as it should have been. And then Katie starts taking over, and you see her daughters get into it, and it's they have real love for this team. And Elizabeth starts telling stories about her hanging out with her grandpa Mike, Mike Brown, the owner, about how they would watch the Bengals show. I'm like, okay, well, Mike Brown really does care about this team and does care about this city. So I mean, it's all different kind of stuff. But I don't know. You guys got anything in this show?
I'll just say that going back 5-6 weeks ago when the offseason started, we were all kind of anxious, kind of just looking optimistic to see what the Bengals would do. We all had our thoughts of what they should do, even up before the draft, just offseason. Then the draft happened. Sitting here today, I'm excited. I think the Bengals did a really great job from signing free agents to the draft. I think they knocked it out of the park. I think they filled holes. They got guys who they think will make an impact right away. They drafted guys who might not start this year, but will definitely be big pieces for the future. That's what you got to do in this kind of window that they're in. And I'm very excited. I think that they did a great job, and I couldn't be more excited for this season. I know it's only May, which sucks, but
yeah, that's the big thing.
It's coming, and I'm excited for this year. I think they've done everything right to get their best product on the field.
No, for sure. I agree. If there was one more move I'd want them to make, and that'd be maybe signing a Calais Campbell, bring him in as a vet, as interior defensive line, pass rush for the interior, just as a vet. But like you said, I'm super excited about this year. Going to try to go to a decent amount of games this year.
Yeah.
And by decent, I mean 2 to 3 for us. But
it's hard with drill because it seems like we always have 3 home games on drill.
Yeah. It does. Yeah, Colton. You guys just get screwed with that.
We don't even get
last
to watch
last season.
Watch them most of the
It'll
time.
be the last season.
Yeah. Boys made it through your contracts. There we go.
About time.
Before I end off, we are a little ways away from football, but we do have the Reds.
I've been watching.
right.
Yeah, they're playing good. I mean, they're
All right.
they need to get
16
healthy.
and 15.
They need to get healthy.
Friedel needs to be back. He's playing a AAA. tonight.
Another thing, dude, I just feel like we're just not destined to win shit.
16 and 15.
It's like when we are healthy, players can't perform. When we're unhealthy, players pop off a little bit. You're like, dude, what the fuck?
We got a hard schedule coming up. We got Baltimore, Diamondbacks.
I think David Bell's got to go.
I almost agree, but the clubhouse loves him.
I get that, but I think after this
I
year,
think the only time he fired a manager, like when has the manager really made an impact on a team?
I mean,
Making
keeping
calls,
keeping guys,
pitchers in.
I mean, the White Sox got rid of Tommy La Russa, and they just got worse. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, but I just think some of the times he leaves guys in too long, or he pulls them too early, or it's just like
It
one
could
of those
also be the
things.
pitching coach. I'm not a big fan of our pitching coach.
You don't like Derek Johnson?
No, not really.
He's like one of the better ones. I don't really.
I don't
Obviously,
know.
we don't right now.
I'm not going to get into that can of worms, but I think you should give him the season. I don't agree with firing guys in the middle of a season. But
No, definitely not. That's tough for a clubhouse and tough for the new manager.
especially in baseball, I don't
Yeah.
agree with it. But I think that this year, if he doesn't make the playoffs, I think he should go.
Yeah. Especially this talent roster.
Yeah, that's just my
It hurts that McLean's hurt, but
Yeah.
but still, we're still really talented.
We still have a lot of good ass players.
I think we need that ace. We need that.
We are
ace.
missing that
Like
true
Lodolo.
ace.
Yep.
It's like I agree, but
But
he's got
they-
enough talent.
They thought Montes was going to come in and be that. He looked good like his first like 2 starts.
He's good, and he'd be a good guy in like the middle of the rotation, but he's not an ace.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to end off with that, and we'll see you guys next week for sure.
See you.
Peace.